So I wanted to try giving a scaling of Boruto and Kawaki since the recent chapter of Boruto has changed a lot of things about the two. So this is my first time doing anything like this, so I may contradict myself throughout this video. I'm fairly new to power scaling, I just wanted to give it a shot, and then the comment section can further discuss the topic and correct me and things that I may have messed up on or something that they know power scaling wise that I didn't. I want to talk about Boruto's potential abilities, and if in fact he is able to use Momoshiki's ability just like how Kawaki's using Jigen's ability. Or I should say Ishiki's abilities. Some people may say that Boruto can't use the full extent of Momoshiki's abilities, but it's literally stated that 82% of Momoshiki's data has been extracted into Boruto's body. And then he goes on to say that Boruto is a pure, complete Otsutsuki. Now what some people may get confused is, why is Boruto a complete Otsutsuki if only 82% of the Kurama has been extracted? Well, Momoshiki explains that in this chapter as well. The other 18% was rewrote directly into Boruto's DNA. So the other 18% is directly into Boruto himself, not in karma. That is how the other 82% of the karma plus the 18% directly into Boruto makes him a full Otsutsuki. Now for the people who are saying just because Boruto is full Otsutsuki is a pure Otsutsuki doesn't mean he scales to one. Code states that each time they activate their Kurama, him, Boruto, and Kawaki get stronger because they get the combat experience of an Otsutsuki gained over a millennia. That's word for word. Now let's go over some possible abilities that Boruto may have in his arsenal inherited by Momoshiki. Now this may be a little hard to decipher because we can't tell in the battle versus Naruto and Sasuke which ability was Momoshiki and which ability was Kenshiki's. It's a little vague. So just take this at face value, but I'm going to assume that most of the abilities that Momoshiki used that we didn't see Kenshiki use is his own. We know the tool creation jutsu, that was a technique mainly used by Kenshiki, and we didn't see Momoshiki use it until after the absorption. So it's safe to say that that was not Momoshiki's technique, that was Kenshiki's technique, so we'll probably just write that one off. By the way, I'm scaling Boruto to base Momoshiki, not absorbed Momoshiki, to be safe. Even though the Momoshiki we see in the current manga kind of looks like a fusion of base Momoshiki and absorbed Momoshiki, he looks more similar to base Momoshiki. And we can assume once they died that Kenshiki's soul was freed, since there's no evidence that their soul was fused in that fusion, or more like absorption, because Momoshiki was the main body and mind, since there's no trace of Kenshiki except for his chakra. First, let's go over techniques that Boruto has already shown to have from Momoshiki. The first one being the obvious one, the Jutsu Absorption technique. This is kind of what puts most ninjutsu users at a mismatch against the Otsutsuki, is that the user can absorb anything chakra based that you throw at them. This is only limited to anything that is chakra based. They cannot absorb elements that are natural. The human body is included, that's why most of the opponents going against Otsutsuki use taijutsu, and it's very successful. It's mainly their weakness. Well, it was mainly Kaguya's weakness because she wasn't really good at taijutsu. Momoshiki, on the other hand, was very exceptional at taijutsu, but in the end it still was very effective against him. Another ability that Boruto is shown to have is dimensional travel. He used this against Ishiki to transport him out of Konoha into a place where Naruto and Sasuke can both fight him. Should probably let y'all know that I'm not really going to use any in-anime canon for Boruto because it just really contradicts the manga a lot. And it's just really inconsistent to a lot of things. Like how a post-time skip, Kid Naruto has better chakra control than KCM Naruto in the war arc. That really makes no sense. So any in-anime ability that Boruto has shown will be excluded from this. So the first ability we can see Boruto use in the future is propelling chakra rods or manipulating chakra rods, which seems like every Otsutsuki has their different ways of using chakra rods. This is a technique that easily pinned down the 8 tails. Only does Momoshiki have the ability to absorb jutsu, he has the ability to reflect them back with twice as much power, making it useless to use any chakra type attacks against Boruto. He also has the ability to absorb your chakra in general, not just chakra based attacks, and turn them into pills and eat them, which I don't see Boruto using this type of technique. It's a very lethal technique and I don't see him having any bloodlust or trying to kill any opponent. But it is a technique he should have, being that it's in Momoshiki's arsenal. Momoshiki is also able to manipulate all 5 chakra natures and create a giant black orb. That's something that Boruto should also have, which we've already seen a glimpse of that, being that his original chakra nature is lightning, and he's also able to use wind style. Another technique that Boruto could display, and it's kind of a powerhouse in Momoshiki's arsenal, is being able to summon a golem avatar, lava-ish like golem avatar. Which, if we're to scaling base Momoshiki, it's not going to be as strong, but this golem was able to take on Nine-Tails Susanoo, though Naruto and Sasuke was only at 50% of power. So if we say that Boro was just like a little bit weaker than Momoshiki, we'd say Momoshiki's like 55-45, but we don't know this for sure, so to be safe, we just say take half of it and then scale it with the golem. So still above Kage level, still above Eight-Tails level. The ability that Boruto could get that really fascinates me is the clairvoyance that Momoshiki had. He was able to see Boruto's fate, saying those blue eyes will take everything from you. So that could mean that Boruto could see other people's fate, like Kawaki's and Naruto, Sasuke, the destruction of Konoha, but you can't really change fate. But Boruto anyways tries to do anything he can to stop that fate from happening, which we cannot confirm that Naruto and Sasuke are dead and what really happened to Kawaki in the beginning of the anime, whether he went rogue. From what I gathered, whatever Kawaki did is something that he did to protect Naruto because he seems very hell-bent on protecting the 7th Hokage. But either way, that's off topic. The last 2 techniques is him being able to plant karma into somebody. We already know that he can plant karma into somebody because Kawaki stated that he could. And the last one is hair manipulation. Momoshiki was able to use his hair as a weapon. But those are really the techniques I wanted to talk about. I don't think I'm going to do the whole arsenal because this video will be too damn long. Now, Kawaki's abilities is going to be brief because we've already seen Kawaki use Ishiki's moves, and Ishiki didn't really display as many moves as Momoshiki. Actually, Ishiki's only really used 2 type of techniques, and obviously we've seen Kawaki with his dojutsu. Kawaki could display more of Jigen's techniques, but the 2 techniques that we've seen is Daiku Koten, which allows a user to retrieve stuff from other dimensions, and Suku Nahi Kono, which allows a user to shrink various objects. So that's the main abilities of the 2 that I really wanted to talk about, but what do they actually scale to? Well, first I would like to start out by saying that in a light novel, Momoshiki actually effortlessly destroyed a planet. That base Momoshiki is much weaker than the absorbed Momoshiki that fought a 50% Naruto and Sasuke, so that'll be at least a low ball for Boruto. The high ball is actually something interesting because you can actually see Boroshiki keeping up with Kawaki's abilities, the same abilities that Jigen used against Naruto and Sasuke, an adult Naruto and Sasuke, full power. Pre-Baryon mode, and did somewhat better against it, so you could put Boruto at least relative to Naruto and Sasuke. The highest I would say is relative to Baryon mode Naruto, being that Sasuke's Sharingan couldn't keep up with the shrink chakra rods, but Boruto's Jogan, or Boroshiki with the Jogan, was keeping up with him. And since we know that Jigen can scale higher than Kaguya because he was actually the one that was supposed to eat the chakra fruit and Kaguya was the sacrifice, you're not going to put the strongest one as the sacrifice. That wouldn't make any sense. And she was stated to having to blindside Jigen and stab him in the back to be able to beat him, so we can put him above Kaguya. So Kawaki Scaling, you can put, since Kaguya was able to create a dimension with a sun, you can put Ishiki at high ball solar system level, and if you want to do low ball, Kaguya at least created 5 planets, so you could put multi-planetary as low ball. So low ball Kawaki is multiplanetary, high ball solar system level. It could be even higher with this fully awakened 100% karma power. So it's safe to say that Kawaki and Boruto are very broken. With having the knowledge of the Otsutsuki and the combat experience and the power over quote unquote by code a millennia, they're really on another level at this point, and they're not even really at their peak. I think that Boruto and Kawaki are a little too strong too early in the series because they're still teenagers, and you know the younger you are, the better you develop on something. And them having the full power of Momoshiki and Jigen before they even reach adulthood is kind of crazy. They're gonna be pretty broken when they reach adulthood. Not really anybody who can compete against them in the series. I don't even think any Otsutsuki would be able to hang with them at that point. But we really need to see how powerful Code is as well when he gets his limiter took off. He may actually just crap on the both of them. Like, the power gap in Boruto is getting a little crazy. But I'm here for it. I'm actually interested on how strong they'll actually become. But that was actually my determination of how broken Boruto and Kawaki is. If you liked the video, then make sure to subscribe. But I'm gonna end this video here. Peace.